And we're off here on Live at the Palms. How you guys doing Wednesday night? And here Wednesday is going to be POT LIMIT Omaha 2-5. And don't mistake the blinds. There's going to be plenty of chips in play, a lot of money being tossed around. And all right, I'm Mike Jungblut, the dude talking here with Matthew Myers. Meyer or Myers? I always get it mixed up if there's an extra S on the end.
Just one S, Myers.
Just one S? Okay.
Yeah.
Not two. All right, we got a Jack 6-3 with two clubs board. Bottom two, it looks like, for Jimbo Baggins. A club flush draw for the juice box with top set. All right, we're going to see, I think, just a call here. Or okay, he's going to go try to set a trap. What in the world does Paul have here? I think it's got like a gutter ball, but all right, deuce of clubs turn. So the juice box with the complete
World.
yeah, right at his fingertips here at this point. So
Why anybody else in the hand would continue, I don't know, but you never know about these guys. He's still setting a trap, too.
sometimes early on in the stream, that people aren't ready to just start going bombs away just yet. It's let's get a couple of hands in you. All of a sudden, okay, now I've got my Rolodex of moves here. So going over value is at least going to be around a pot size bet. Nope, under that's going to be 150. And
Yeah.
two quick folds says. All right, checking out all our folks here in the chat for 2-5 PLO 9 here live at the Palms. People pointing out we had a little bit of a hot mic. I had the main down on my board, and I was like absolutely sure that no, okay, but. People saying hot mic, no. But we won't get anything too controversial from me. I learned a long time ago that, here in the space, just make sure to kind of temper anything that it's like, I don't know if anybody wants to. But anyway, see the nice view here above the table of the Felt of Dreams. Have you gotten a chance to play on this yet? Is this going to be like one of your ambitions, Matt, to get out there? Then
On the stream?
yeah.
It doesn't. I would do it. It doesn't really, one way or the other, appeal to me or not appeal to
That's
me.
a
But
great ringing endorsement, you know?
The stream is, the funny thing is I've got just as many hours as on this felt here at the Palms as anybody else. So I've played here
Yep.
day after day after day after day since it's opened. So I am a big fan of the Palms.
That's they're a great ambassador. I love it when you put
And
it that way.
The PLO.
And one of the funniest guys out on the table. So, we've got hands. We've got Alex with aces and ace suited. I think Cobbler. Yeah. Any other? Okay, we got it. Decent hand by the Pink Panther. Tyler's got Queen 10 9 8 doubles. Nope, just one single suit of the hearts.
There's actually good hands here. I mean, these are the hands that are with the lineup that you have. There's not going to be a lot of pre-flop folds with hands of this quality. So, you're going to see good action. I'm going to predict that the aces from Alex will not hold up. So, it's a rare thing, but we'll see how he plays it.
All right, back to Ukrainian Alex. We'll push it in. And I think with
Tyler's definitely calling. Oh, no, he's shoving.
I guess, with Jimbo with a really short stack here, it just is like, okay.
It doesn't matter if Jimbo has a large stack. He's calling. He is action.
All right, we've got aces, Queen 10 9 8, King, Queen 8 8 as looks like the spades alive here for Jimbo.
Yeah, hearts for Pink Panther, clubs for Alex.
So we will have a main pot of probably about like 300 from each, so 900 plus any other potential dead money that's out there, and then on the side between Alex and Pink Panther for like another $200. So those numbers are correct as we start these stacks here with 1,000, I believe, as the default beginning, and then it's match stack as Pink Panther a hand. I think that still has an opportunity here. He's going to flop trip nines. Goodness gracious. Here comes the jack, which gives him a straight draw. Also gives Jimbo a straight draw, but is going to be trip nines with a queen. Good here for the Pink Panther on the first board.
Running it twice.
And flops decently on this one, too.
Again,
still the hope it's going to be the ace on the end. So Jimbo will not get a half of anything here, and this is going to be cut straight down the middle for Alex.
Yeah, they'll be chopping up Jimbo. A little justice with the aces. So I do like to see that. But
some people love to see pain, though. They're not always looking to see the best hand when they want to see the best hand get cracked by the big. Like, I think that's also a subsect of the audience that just enjoys seeing somebody wreck a primo hand. And here in this game, you get a little bit of each. You get a little bit of that card, that hand gets wrecked, and you become the wrecker.
100%. I don't think they actually. A lot of people don't understand PLO. I mean, it's kind of the underappreciated game versus Hold'em.
Right.
But, you know, when you have a hand like Queen Jack 8-9 that Tyler had, it's probably, I mean, it's certainly not that behind aces.
Right.
You know, dry aces is one of the most overplayed hands in PLO. So you are absolutely right, though. The pain is, you know, everybody stops to see the train wreck or the car wreck.
Absolutely. And yeah, dry aces especially, I think it becomes a recurring theme because I think it's like the first gap that people from the Hold'em side connect is just the valuation of hands. So it's just, yeah, it becomes the kind of common denominator when we talk about it. That's like, yeah, this is just the common situation. Or just like 60-40, set versus wrap versus flush draw. And
yeah,
it just, you know, versus I think there are some opportunities you get to bluff in position in this game depending on, you know, how big the pot size gets and the kind of scare cards that can come that you can really go attack people with.
Right.
But it's, I don't think that jumps immediately off the page. So I think that's kind of the hope of hopefully getting more PLO stuff out there as to educate.
To be honest, with these players at these tables, at these stack depths, there's not a lot of fear for anybody.
Of course.
The stacks have to be bigger for a lot of these players for them to start laying stuff down that's marginal.
So it's just kind of like, that's not too expensive.
Right. Everybody's willing to gamble with 500 at this table. Everybody.
I mean, Big J here with ace, jack, deuce, deuce. Yes, only $65. I think for some of these players, it's like, well, I can make something out of this, but
absolutely,
it's a very limited flop set you can connect with. So Jimbo Baggins here with jack 8-7-6. Is there like a decent looking hand out of this bunch? He's gonna rip it here for 300. So, you know, just another night at Palm Social. We got.
I like James's hand the best, but you know, there's nothing that's there's no premiums out there. So
yeah, the king's unsuited. I mean, but at least it is somewhat connected together. That the only problem is a lot of shared cards, I think, amongst this bunch, and Paul must have something. Like, there's always got to be at least one good-looking hand out of the bunch.
Has
and
to be.
There's a needle in this haystack there somewhere. And Paul's ripping it for $8.95. Good chance he'll get the eye. Oh, what?
And here goes the gamble. I'm used to it. I see it all the time. I've played with these guys. You know, I mean, there's no reason to get in 1K with King 10, 8-9 with a.
I can think of a lot of good reasons, but, you know. Most of them aren't on the, like, I'm chasing EV here right now. Like,
and that's the thing. When you see the percentages, his hand is basically, they're all 6 percentage points apart.
Good gracious. So, all right, we will figure out what Paul has here. There's James with King 10-9-8, 10-8 of spades, Jimbo with the Jack 8 of clubs, and connected with the 8-7-6, and Paul, I would probably guess it would have to be aces here. I think that's totally unreasonable here to have taken that line unless there's some like
cards,
king, queen,
right.
10 kind of
That's
combo,
an
you know.
absolute hand he would move with. You do remember that there was one ace folded on the ace jack deuce deuce, so one of them's gone. So, but as you will notice in PLO, there's a ton of case cards that hit, so everything's available.
As we pile this on up, we will have again another main pot involving Jimbo, which would be like 900 or so, and then between Paul and James on the outside. So altogether, 2,300. As what is this, the second hand, the third hand?
Yeah, third hand.
and pretty much everybody piling chips on into
We've
the
got
middles.
James in with king 10. He's got the gutter.
Ace, queen, 4, ace on the turn, 9 on the end. So
James has got a 9.
Paul showing king high hearts. And so he had suited kings, it looks like.
Kings.
Nobody with an ace in hand, so the board actually, until we can read Paul's hand specifically, it is going to indicate
King,
here that
king,
he made a
3,
flush
5,
with king
double
high.
suited, all red.
So he should, yeah, he's going to be able to scoop all of this. King, king, 5, 3, double suited. Yeah, I think with as much money out there that he was going to have the opportunity to just be able to isolate. And that seems to be how these games go, where depending on if you're like early position or straddle, and all of a sudden you go raise, call, 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 and then you can just have somebody there with a medium stacked up just say, oh, no, screw it. Let's either pick up dead money or my hand plays not too bad if it gets called in a couple of different spots.
You have to know your audience, and when the raise is in front of him and he can make it really big with kings, it's a good spot to do that. He drove the ace out. Now the ace would not have voted with the ace, jack, deuce, deuce. He was able to get that to fold, but as you see, there are other people willing to gamble, and so the spot was right to do it in with the kings. You do it with aces. I know Alex did that early on. You know, it was 100 to him. He was able to make it 500 with aces. That's your best opportunity to narrow the field, which you want to do with those big pairs.
Give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Mod, Jimmy Bluffett, Mixed Game Mike from Rounders Live. Also tuning on in, our boy Pape. What's going on, friends? Be sure to hit the like button, click subscribe. We're like 532 subs. Like, I think episode 7 at this point. I should be keeping track of these, but our next episode going to be on Saturday, I believe. We're going to do 1-2 no limit. Stream that one for a fun one Saturday, because I don't think will be your neighborhood normal 1-2. So,
And
all right,
another
look at
one
this.
brewing. Another one brewing. Alan wakes up with aces, raises to 25. Call, 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 and it looks like James is 3-bet to 160. So this is a scenario in which Alan can move all his chips in. Unfortunately, early in the session, he doesn't have enough to push some of these people out.
Yeah, it's not going to be high enough that they're like, oh, I can't call that. They're just,
Right.
And we'll see what other contestants step on up here to the plate at Palm Social in Austin. As
The gamble is real. I mean, and honestly,
Paul's hand's semi-playable, I guess, but it's also, yeah,
mean,
it's just not quite good enough that you're
No.
like, you know what, if James is going to be able to be willing to put 1,000 in, I'm not.
we're still
ugh.
blind here. We don't know what he has, but yeah, I mean, but James, you just watched James put in 1,000 the hand before with, wasn't anything of super strength, so it's hard to say. He could certainly wake up with something that's really nice here.
All right, here we go. 1,100 in the middle. Alan here with aces. I need to turn you up a little bit and turn me down. Okay, let's.
Top set for Alan, but straight is on board there. Nope, top set is going to be good.
Did we get any indication of what in the world?
None. He folded. Alan turned the aces over, and James went ahead and mucked. But I mean, James is going to do that for the 470 after he 3-bet 160. He's never folding. He could have had 4 deuces. He's still just going to call.
All right, I think maybe I'm so like in front of the mic. I'm just by habit like eating it a little bit. And I've got you up a little bit more, so
Okay.
hopefully we're not blasting out anybody's eardrums or making anybody go, what the? Here we go.
So far, it's off to a blazing start.
This is actually, there could have been just like a flop bet, fold. No, it just winds up being a couple of $1,000 all-ins to just build up some of the stacks here live with the palms.
Yeah, with this lineup, there's not going to be many $15 open raises and then walks through. I'm going to say that happens.
Yeah,
zero tonight.
That is actually a great over-under bet to see how many just like single raised, heads up pots, so they're going to be... There's got to be some way to track that as to, like...
It's going to be low with this group.
That's actually probably also another good number to be like, okay, we're going to get 3 players, 4 players, 5. Do we get any where we get everybody on the table? We will have some $25 bomb pots, so be on the lookout for that. Those
are going to get wild, too.
Thought about doing racehorses, and then we changed it to, like, let's just do the single board then.
It is going to be single board?
Yeah. That's... We are working on the technology to one day hopefully be able to scan 2 boards, but I imagine that's going to require a massive system update by Poker GFX to try to get percentages between 2 boards and dead cards and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, maybe if they don't even have to have percentages, they could just absolutely just allow it to be able to read the hands.
Right.
So I'm not good with that great with technology, so I can't be able to tell software engineers what the hell they should be doing. Yeah, I'm just barely qualified enough to host a show, Matt. Like, that's I got a good voice and the dude talking. Mike Jungblut here with Matthew Myers. Pink Panther with what? Okay, a little bit too.
I mean, James is just in a mode. I mean, he's 3-betting Jack 10 8 3. I mean, it is double suited, but he does have 3 connectors, which I like. You know, because the hand can play small or big. But you know, and here you go. You're getting some people to fold, and then Jimbo's just not going to fold. That's not what
we do get a 3-bet and then heads up pot here as... All right, going to come out a diamond draw, looks like, for James, and a pair of aces for Jimbo. More outs, though, likely for James in this spot.
He's 65% with the gutter, the diamonds. But Jimbo's not going to fold. 1 pair. Top pair.
Yeah, and the underdog, so... Can he find any hands or any turn cards that improve his hand without improving James? Then it's not going to be one of them there. That pretty much draws him dead. As winner now for James, still sitting at least over 1,000. Here live at the Palms, Palms Social. Check us out at Palms Social 512 on Instagram, Palms Social Club. If you're one of those people that check out websites, people still do that, right? That's not out of style anymore?
No. I
okay.
think it's the norm.
Well, it's good to have it, because I would have been pondering that. If I was sitting back here alone, I could have lost like 10 minutes of time researching. Alan Pichatello says, yay, PLO. Yeah, an Omaholic out here in the right place here for the most.
Early on, I've played with James quite a bit. Here recently, he's been catching some slack. About being a tight player.
Oh, really? He's been nit-shamed? He's been nit-shamed?
And he is letting it out tonight. It looks like there is no nit within his bloodstream tonight. He is letting it all hang out early, at least early. So, good for him. He's showing it. He's building the reputation. I want to give him that credit, because he had been nit-shamed the last couple of games I've played with him.
I really hope we become the stream where people, you know, become unwound to prove that they're not nits. I think it's a great forum to be able to demonstrate that. So we strongly encourage being anti-nitty here, but I'm not going to.
You came to the right place. This is,
this is not a. We're not here to judge. We're here to see what the hell happens.
Promote.
Chris Chamberlain says some high-level play here early. Yeah, you're seeing some of the most sophisticated PLO play that might exist here in the state of Texas to a degree.
Chamberlain is very aware of the high-level play that exists in the community. We have daily discussions on, you won't see a lot of GTO. You're not going to see a lot of GTO. You're not going to see a lot of merging people's ranges here.
I love how you said that too. There's a clear disdain for the thinking community when it comes to this, and then I'm all for that. Okay, we've got a flop ace high flush draw for Paul.
Which, I mean,
and
the most
open ender here for Jimbo Baggins, who's also got 5 high hearts, so he.
And it doesn't matter how much money is put in this pot. Paul is going to see the 5th card with a nut flush draw. Period.
All right, king turns. Is there any pair in hand or?
I stand corrected. He may be able to fold to a paired board, but nobody has anything. Just a pair of 7s. Oh no, I'm sorry. Pink Panther had bottom 2. The ace just brought that hand to earth, and you know, again, I told you,
Yep.
Paul is going to see.
Paul's gonna see it. All right, he's
a non-believer, and he has the nut flush draw.
actually it's pair of 7s, so like pair of 7s with an ace is technically best, but
He is right now. He is ahead. He doesn't know that.
it's gonna be 10 of hearts. A paired board. Is there gonna be a big enough bet here if he rips it to potentially drive out Paul? As
Tyler has heart. He can do it.
350 is probably gonna get snapped though.
Yeah.
It does look like a value bet to a degree, but I don't believe that he's still going to be in the mode to fold once the hand gets there. So,
Exactly. The theory
and I'm not here to hate, man. I love this game. So it's just the fun of being able to gamble sometimes, and also the frustration that happens in this game.
And I mean, kudos to Paul. If you call on a flush draw and it gets there, I mean, call the river. You called for it. It got there. Now pay it off.
This is going to be like in a new strategy guide that we're going to put out from this show.
Don't call for something when it
like
hits
Wes
you fold.
Like Wes Cutshall had that kind of mini ebook, like how to play poker like a total amateur. Like I think this would be a good sequel to it. Somebody saying,
I play like a total amateur, so I can talk.
Okay, yeah, that's the kind of perspective we're looking for here. Chris saying the nittiest player in Austin is in the booth with you, and then William Lottie saying, but I'm not in that booth. And it's like there's a big battle for who's the most nitty. And we call out
William
nits here.
is a quick front runner.
All right, next hand. It looks like a couple of straddles out there, so that only just invites more just rampaging right into the middle.
I want to ask William Lottie if he's got his Porsche over 60 miles an hour yet. You let us know in the chat, William, please.
Press 1 or 2, I guess. Says we're gonna have James with it's a reasonable hand. Ace King Queen 9 with the suited Ace Queen of clubs. Alex gonna rip. He's got Ace Jack 10-8 with the Jack 8 of diamonds. Solo Ace of hearts, but
I mean, I like his hand when you're seeing a hand like that, but you're up against a hand that just has you absolutely dominated.
Pink Panther here with kings. Tyler.
He's shoving.
Yeah, suited king. So suited king 6 of hearts. And, oh, what do we got? Jimbo Baggins with ace queen 8 deuce. Double suited. 8 deuce of clubs, though, as clubs are going to be no good in this spot with James.
That's strange. Jimbo went all in.
You know, I've never, it's not something he does very often.
I think that's a good over-under. How many times a night will Jimbo Baggins get his chips all in pre-flop?
All it needs to take is one, and then builds up a stack, and then.
Yes.
But when you're kind of the short stack ninja in these games, it just kind of gives you the opportunity to punt some on chips in. So we've got a 4-way all-in 2000 main going to be happening with Jimbo, Pink Panther, Alex, and James. Then a second side pot for like 150, and then another one slightly outside of that between Alex and James. So Jimmy Bluffett saying spike the like. Appreciate you. Make sure to click subscribe. We're streaming 3 nights a week. We took Monday off. We're going to stream here on Saturday, and I think kind of back on schedule on Monday. Game to be determined. And count out these. I mean, here's the other the kind of tough part too is you get these 4-way all-ins and there's no similar stacked ups, and it's it becomes just like so that's why we get some of our best dealers with general manager Chris out here working it, and we've got it all lined up as we need to. So
I like how Alex started the all-in on this one, but he's 8% equity.
just because of all the hands that he's matched up with. It's just like his diamonds are screwed. It's going to be an ace that flops good, at least for aces and deuces for Jimbo. A 6 board pairs makes a trip 6s for the Pink Panther with kings in his hand. So,
thank you. Side pot to Tyler.
all right, yeah. Let me turn mine down a little bit there. So I'm seeing that on my board, so let me make sure I'm not right on top of it. But trip 6s with a king here for Tyler, and it was Jimbo that pulled ahead first in the main.
Yeah,
and then
and deuces.
I didn't say, well, there was no spade draws out there, so
No need to worry. Tyler had the correct danglers on this one.
yeah, that's
You move it in with kings, you win with trip 6s.
yep, pretty nice night on the Saturday stream. I think we did the round and round. So continuing here at Palm Social in Austin, a nice night for us. I think at least 3 or 4 other tables going out there, some 5-10 action, along with our 2-5 PLO game. As
Alex with a reload, good. Jimbo with a reload, good.
it just, I mean, this is going to be one that, okay, maybe you wind up with something to do for an hour, and then you come back and you'll see like 5K, like it's.
By the end of
It's just the game feeds itself over time.
Juicebox and Cobbler Dog have just kind of sat back and watched so far. So everybody else is shipping light, shipping heavy. It doesn't matter. They're just shipping.
Yeah, the very detailed and skilled part of this game. So we'll try to keep it fun here tonight.
Oh yeah, like I said earlier, you're not going to see high level PLO at its finest. This is a lot of gamble. These guys will flip coins outside for 100 a rip.
They also, yeah, I guess
Every one of
it's
them.
a good metaphor for it sometimes, because it's just. You also get the opportunity to run it with 2 boards, so it just it does feel like slot machines with cards, and that's fun. I don't care what anybody tells you, that's still fun. But kind of agonizing, guys. We've got a $40 double straddle, or it should be triple.
No, it was a raise by Big J, who you have to be alarmed when he raises. He is one of the tighter players on the table, so you have to put him on a hand. But Alan wakes up behind him with a very nice hand. It just calls. Which then...
Paul, no, it was like, looks like a Paul was out of the, see this under the gun, these S's or straddles, and so we are going to have it 6 ways, and it flops set of 7s here for Paul. Everybody has at least some hope, I think, besides Juicebox, but some of it a little bit. Oh, we got Pink Panther with bottom set too on top of this, set over set.
And Alan's not going anywhere with top pair, second nut flush draw. So unlike the previous hands, we're going to see a ton of action.
That's all right.
You're probably going to have, 3 guys are going to get it in here. So Alan's not, obviously he calls the 245. That's one of the perils of playing a hand like Queen 5-5-3. I know it's double suited, but if you flop a set, it's typically bottom set. Be very dangerous in PLO.
It always becomes some very pricey lessons that.
That is an action card on the turn.
It's oh goodness, it's 7's full of aces, 5's full of aces. Here for Pink Panther, and Paul is going to rip it. Not quite the Yeti cooler of the night, but it is still always kind of. Alan's got trip aces here, so he still has a little bit of life to a King, Queen, or Jack.
As I said on the flop, there was no way any of those 3 were ever leaving this hand.
It was destined to be here. We were destined to arrive here at the river for a 4.3K pot here, 3-way all-in. Pink Panther's only hope is the remaining 5.
They may do it. I would assume they're going to run 2 rivers with the pot over 4K. most of these guys they will run it twice.
A lot of acknowledging there's no backups to go with the set either. I mean, that's the ideal way if you want to be able to get it in, and sometimes this game will just not allow you to ever have backups. You just wind up getting your chips in this spot, so it's just...
Yeah, Paul flopped very big with middle set and open ender. Allen with top pair, top kicker with second nut flush, and Tyler with bottom pair. Or, excuse me, bottom set.
Yeah.
And again, bottom set's going to get him in trouble. He's probably going to get none of this pot back.
Yeah, all the draws are dead, so it's just a matter of can Allen hit a king, queen, or jack, or also ace. Is going to be the 8 of spades, esteemed Ola special, and the 8 of hearts.
Paul with a scooper. He's off to a fine start.
4.3K pot, scooper duper for all the money as set over trips.
That's what Paul does.
Yeah,
we've all seen him run it up.
So, excuse me, full house over full house versus trips, and yeah, Allen, I guess, kind of just put the B into that spot, and
when all the money goes in there, and he's got 2 overcards to bigger aces full, possibly. I mean, he's going to call. He's already called the 245.
Especially with what's in there, yeah, I think that's...
Absolutely. He's getting the right price.
And these are kind of from afar, how you have to kind of look at it, whereas I know there might be some pure PLO theorists and people out there that are just like, you don't have any idea. And like, it's also, we're responding to the dynamics that happen specifically in Texas poker versus like a nittier game you might have in the Northeast or overseas where, you know, people really take folding seriously, whereas people love to F and play here, man.
No, that's a very astute observation. I like how
it's
Texas poker has a certain
rhythm to the game that it's also like you have to be aware of and be able to operate with, that I think sometimes people adapt to and realize that's just part of it here. And
a lot of machismo.
Yeah, it's like just pent up aggression. I don't know, it's tough. Like life is hard out there, man. I'm not telling you it's oh wait,
Cobbler Dog might play one.
I think I know what's happened. Did I? I understood the problem here. My mic's way up high. Keep talking here.
You got it figured out?
I thought so. Alright, as we continue live with Palms. I think I got the mics on this board mixed up between each other, so that might have been why we've got such just a massive disparity.
Allen raising it up to 50 with some small ball. I like this play. If it hits, the hand plays itself. Nobody puts him on the small ball. If it doesn't, he can just get away from it because he's got a pair of 4s or 5 high, whatever it may be.
Okay, I think we are more aligned and correct here, so we got to figure it out.
6-way action, 300 in the pot, and Allen, who was the initial raiser, plays it just like exactly how we probably envisioned. I either hit it or I fold. Dave with top set, so he's not, or excuse me, middle set, but he has the top set blocked.
James here with top 2, and I guess there's probably no real redraw hopes.
No, but Paul's going to be in there with the Queen Jack. So we're going to...
Yeah.
I know this is going to be strange, but we're going to see another big pot.
You really think so? I mean...
James is not
shocked.
folding.
I can't believe this.
James is not folding top 2. Oh, well, he already shipped it after. I mean, with Paul's current situation, he's won a couple of big ones. He's up. So he's running solely on profit right now. I think he's going to call with what Dave's stack size is behind. He's not going to, and he's just going to be willing to gamble.
All right. Yeah, my apologies. That was on me for the mic issue. So I think now we can fully hear you.
Paul, let it go. Nice, good on him. Obviously, Dave was never letting it go. They'll run it twice.
No real backdoor draws potentially for
No,
James.
James is drawing dead.
Best is hoping that to be able to get a chop out of it, and
Yeah.
not gonna happen. It looks like. I guess there were some maybe backdoor straight outs potentially, but
Yes.
that was not gonna happen. It's gonna be a 1.6K here to Cobbler Dog. Here with the set of tens, it survives, and
You know, I like you play one hand, you more than double up, and you wait another, orbit
10,
or
10
two.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
Do
a
it again.
bomb pod happening here, so
My
I believe
favorite.
it is bomb pot time. $25 bomb pots. Get yourself fired up for it.
Alex is reloading a little bit more now that we're starting to see some stacks on the table. Paul, Cobbler Dog, James reloads. Have we gone through 30 minutes yet?
According to yeah, we're about 30 minutes into this. That's
So-
30,
Solid
37, I
start.
guess technically.
solid start to the game.
Here at Palm Social, Austin, Texas. You're looking at the Felt of Dreams. It is really beautiful Carolina blue, and really pops thanks to the fine folks at Texas Poker Supply. Built a heck of a table here for us, and we got the can holders there, drink dispenser, and we're gonna reload it here. It looks like for James. Do operate here on a 30-minute delay, so that way we kind of don't necessarily have to be the the phone police here in this.
Only 225 in this one to start with, so a complete whiff for Juice Box.
Yeah, we'll load up all the other hands. That's the only been tricky part that we've noticed about this is
Jim,
with the bomb pots, it just takes a moment to load up all the. So it's just kind of a slow reveal. As Paul had like a queen high spades with an open ender.
Jimbo's got the gut shot with the nut spade, so he's in it. He's not going anywhere. And Big J wakes up with aces, with a backdoor club draw. He folds. Nice.
It is going to be the Pink Panther here with king high spades with top two. Spades won't be any good, but
He's never folding.
yeah, he's not going to fold this, and it's actually going to raise us up here to 900. But we'll get Jimbo in for his last 160.
They're going to run it twice.
All right, 2 times for the win. It's going to be a gut shot hits. Is a deuce.
Jimmy
bricks.
wins here. Watch this spade peel off, and Tyler's going to get absolutely hammered.
And
No,
full
makes
house.
a
So
boat.
they'll chop
Nice.
it, chop it. It looks like.
Justice for Tyler.
Is that going to be a new hashtag? But it can't keep up with all of them now. That's
There's too many.
well, I mean, it's just specifically even for this channel is
Justice.
people are finding us here on
No,
YouTube.
Tyler's been doing very well in the streams, but I've sat with Tyler in some games where, there's been some, I can't even say just specifically to him. There's usually some gross ones in all the PLO games. It just happens to be. It's the
It just
nature of the
happens to
game.
be him that's
But here lately, I've seen some really, really bad ones that he's been involved in. And occasionally, I know as much as we like to see the pain, I do like to see the best hand win sometimes.
it is sometimes it's such a hand by hand dependent. There's so many ones like I like that hand for that board, and in the next hand it's like that same type of hand looks so different compared to whatever it's interacting with. So it's a lot of subjective. Like yeah, that was the right fold. Hey, wait. Yeah. We got the vault figured out. So we've got Queen Jack, Jack 8, $10 straddle, James.
Yeah, Dave's going to play this one. Oh, James, switching gears, folding now. King 5, 4 deuce.
Yeah, it's good to change speeds every once in a while. It
It is.
show a little restraint sometimes, come back out, reemerge.
Allen is ready to play. He's raising King 10, 4, 6. It is double suited, but I think he's ready to mix it up and start you know, I say building pots, but these pots are getting built. So now we're 3-bet with the aces.
See who decides to tag along, as we will have Paul, who has position on him with King 10, 10, 6. Alan here with King 10, 6 for the King 10 of hearts. Those hearts actually potentially live. Oh, no. I mean, it's semi-connected board for some of these guys that maybe if they do want to try to attack. Alan's going to try to. He's got actually bottom pair with a straight draw either way.
And he doesn't have enough.
That strong of a draw, but I can't try aces here. It could be something that Juicebox look at and like, how the hell can I win this?
I don't think he has enough. I think he's going to call the 300, even though it might be a crying call with the aces. I mean, those are the definition of dry aces.
Yeah, that's a very, well, I mean, the 7 deuce of clubs maybe gives it a small backup prayer, just like a little hope if you need it, but you're not relying on it.
And he was really up against the best he could hope for, that Paul and Alan had almost the same damn hand. You know, so a lot of their outs were already taken. I don't think Paul calls here once Juicebox,
Yeah, we will wind up heads up here as
2 times.
Queen turns and a 5.
There's the straight.
The lower end of the straight on the first one.
Which is good.
A 3-ball and then another 3-ball, so they'll chop it up. Just $75 profit between them within this $1,000 pot. The driest of aces holding up on an 8-7-6 board is.
That's nice.
It's on brand. It's actually kind of beautiful. You know, it's good to know that hand still wins sometimes. But Alan,
I think they're both happy that they got some of that pot.
Yeah, I think they realized it could have been a disaster either way without them walking away with a red cent from it. So
there's plenty of gamble tonight.
Yeah, and I think that also contributes to the fact that people are wanting to run it twice or go 2 boards. And there are a lot of purists out there that they just want blood. They want everybody to just keep getting stacked. And I think within this community, there's not that same sense of like, I'm out for blood. I mean, there's some gamble out there, but it's also like we also kind of want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to.
And there's plenty of us here, certainly, that have played together that will run it twice almost all the time. Now, some of it is dependent on pot size. I mean, I think they want to take some of the variance out of it when the pots become very bloated.
Yep.
There hasn't been too many pots. I mean, the one pot that was over 4K, but, you know, something like that. But those are 2 guys, both Alan and Juicebox, who I know, hey, we'll run it twice, see what we get. And again, I think both of them are happy that they got some of that pot back.
I think once
Alan didn't like it when Juicebox called, and Juicebox didn't like calling.
We have got at least 7 players in this.
No, Jimbo.
Pick a hand, any hand. You got a favorite of this bunch? Okay, Jimbo had raised up to 175, so that should thin the herd a little bit, and maybe there's somebody else that wants to rip it all in. It's going to be Big J. Juicy J here with King 10, 5-4 with a King 10 of clubs.
That's out
Not
of character
a primo
for
by
him.
any stretch, but
that is out of character for him. I am shocked to see him do that. A lot of patience in his game. Normally he's going to wait for a better spot than the King 10, 4-5 single suit. I mean, you may get a call here from Tyler, you know, who's got, you know, the Jack 10-9, which I think plays well. Queen 10-9 plays well. Unfortunately, they have 3 of their own suits, but, you know.
Yeah, not enough gamble in there for Alex for his stacked up to want to mess around and find out. This could just wind up being an all-in between Pink Panther realizes the price might be right. That it's like, oh, you guys getting yourself in a little pre-flop all-in? I'd take this hand, but see what he's up against and sharing a few heart.
He has heart. I mean, you know, And as you look at it, the equity with a hand like Jack 10-9 against what he's up against is a slight favorite.
I still have to review that within GFX if it's something that accounts for some of the folded outs here, because
Yeah,
I think if you ran this through some of the other regular statistics, like you might find out just without knowing any of the other players that the percentages might be slightly different, as diamonds going to flop. King high diamonds is at least going to be live here for the Pink Panther. Is going to turn into top pair for Big J, but so much more going on here for Tyler's hand.
yeah.
And so many better turn cards that can come for him to improve his hopes for additional equity. As Jimbo's got like 47 bucks. Maybe we might be slightly off on that, but
He needs a queen. That's a beautiful card.
Deuce in the end. Jack's full.
And Jimbo's going to win the
Our
first
deuce is
run
full.
out.
Jack's diamond
Tyler's
turns.
going to win.
Is going to be split up in half here between the
And
Pink Panther and Jimbo.
Big J gets nothing.
Runner deuces on the first board for Jimbo Baggins and 2 jacks in the hold. It's going to ship half the cheddar.
I do like seeing it because King 10-5-4 does not play well in any PLO game. There's no reason to ship there. And as you see, you're going to get none of a double run out with that hand a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a King 10, 9, 7, I mean, it's
better.
A little bit, yeah. It's not the bell of the ball by any stretch. Like, I could go to war with this and maybe come out with half a run out if we got going. Matt M in the chat saying, Matt and Mike, let's go. I thought that was you first in the chat originally. Like, are you much of a chat pro, or do you mostly just like to watch? Like,
I just watch. I don't ever put anything in the chat, although I never shut my mouth live. So it is strange
that's such a quandary that I'm running into with all these, some of the Austin locals around here. I'm like, man, these people talk all the time. Why aren't they saying nothing? No,
I'm not that person either. I don't chat much on these.
Yeah, it is still kind of an odd thing. We love all of our chat pros that stop by to visit, hang out with us here. You're one of a kind. So.
Did Big J reload? Yeah, it looks like he's getting dealt in. So.
All right, the next live stream going to be on Saturday. I think we're going to probably do like a 1-2. I imagine there's going to be a match the stack factor in that, so it'll be a fun game to be a part of. As continue 2-5 edition live at the Palms is hit like and subscribe. I know that's a lot of you maybe catching this here on the replay, maybe checking out any of the highlight reels that we're putting out, and there's no I'm going through the video editing in the last PLO game. There's no shortage of hands that are like all in 3K.
No, shortage? That's all there is.
Sometimes the fun part is just seeing what kind of crazy runouts and huge hands that hit those.
Alex calls with the queens, King Deuce suited. Alan raised again with 3 Broadway cards, suited ace. Big J called, I think, very... he was hoping that was going to slide around for 10, but he's...
All right, we've got...
Pink Panther calls in these spots because in his mind, he thinks that nobody's playing the cards he has, so he thinks he's live, which he is. And so, he plays a lot of hands like this.
Paul was giving, like, I think, an emphatic speech. Doing something with his arms there. I don't know. He was pretty fired up about it. But
Paul should just call dark and then just call every bet to the river and then turn over the winner so far. So he's running pure so far. But he's made some tough calls too. I mean, it's tough. I say it's tough to call 350 on a paired board with just a flush, but I see him do it. So.
I think the one thing you're probably going to not having the sophistication of it's heads up, and one of them's got an unsuited ace blocker, and like they're going to go rep. Like it's just generally with the stacked ups, it just winds up being whoever's got a big hand, the money gets into the turn somehow. Until I think that the depths get a little deeper, then some of these more complex and unique situations kind of unfold. But
Big J
this is just kind of fun to watch, just like. Oh, good lord, what does everybody have here? We've got a
open-ender for Big J. Double gutter for Pink Panther. Overpair for Alex. Alan has flopped nothing. And Big J also has the king high flush draw.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he's just going to get his little dab in, as they say in the PLO.
Yeah, like
That's a shout out to one John Banks, who's legendary here in the Austin area for PLO. He will get his little dab in when he can.
just a little all right. It appears it is only going to be heads up now.
And Paul turned a flush draw. Paul calls with one pair with a 10 kicker, and now since he's turned the flush draw, but again, he's not afraid of the $75 that are.
Yeah, he's sitting with like 5K. So like in PLO, when you can just mash pot, like it just gives you so much more power and ability to put kind of people in the blender.
But if Big J,
iffy on this spot.
I'm not iffy here. Big J's putting 50% of his stack, and he's gonna fold with those draws.
Wow.
I don't understand that, but it's not my money, so.
Paul with enough bravado to be able to kind of just flex on him.
And he should. He picked up some extra outs there on the turn with the diamond draw, but you don't expect somebody to fold when 50% of their stack is in the middle. Even in Hold'em.
As we continue here live at the Palms, as we introduce you to the twisted underworld of Pot Limit Omaha and how it's played in Austin.
God bless America.
I know, the USA #1, right?
Especially when it comes to PLO.
Yeah, clearly, can tell this is for the love of the game.
I'm telling you right now, whether people believe it or don't believe it, but I think Texas has become the poker epicenter for the United States right now in the time of COVID. With the restrictions that you get in Vegas at times, I think they're putting them back on. This is where you come play. Austin, Houston, Dallas. The games are large. There's plenty of gamble. There's plenty of game choices. This is the place to be. So please, if you're listening out there, look at a flight to Austin. Come in here and play at the Palms. This is the type of action you see on the regular. This isn't made up for TV. This is
it would be
life.
a lot of fun if we were just making this up, is to be like, hey guys, just throw a bunch of crazy effing hands in there for a couple of hours and just see what happens. I don't know, that would be harder to coordinate than just having a game that's just kind of bonkers by itself.
Right.
So, all right, set of sevens here for Paul. That also appears that he may think his 7 high club draws are live for him. They are not. Big Jig's got queen high clubs. We'll see it.
And Tyler played the hand that I told you he likes to play. The little smaller cards, and he flopped 2 pair. Well, clubs have gotten there now, so.
See if Big J with 210 is going to commit anything here to this. I imagine this gets checked through unless Paul really just is like, I'll hammer this because I'm the big stack here, and that's.
If it's checked to him and he has a set, he might as well. Now, I would say.
He's in his mind, he's got 7 flush with the 7 deuce of clubs, but
right, and he's got backup if it pairs. But and I would say Jesse should auto call here, but it does show up. There you go, he did call.
All right, so he's.
But he folded the last one, so I couldn't.
You just can't predict what's going to happen, is what you're saying. Okay. All right.
Paul will definitely want to run it twice with the set of 7s, and Jesse's okay with running it twice.
8 on the first, so the first board will go to Big J, and the second board will pair, so chop it up.
And once again, the old chop.
As Chat Pro Yuck now, it says you have Matt and a 1-2-5 and call it a day. You need lots of help, brother. I don't need to be reminded often that I need lots of help. Somebody trying to take shots here at you. I don't know.
Oh,
people are niche shaming you now. It's
absolutely. Hey, you don't get the nickname Hit and Run Matt by sticking around. Okay. You get that by taking those $232 wins. But what they don't realize
that's
is
a
those add up.
thing. Like,
Those add up.
What?
And, sir, jealousy will get you nowhere. Just because you don't win 232, I can't help that. My poker super ability is I have the ability to get up from the table a winner.
As we continue live at the Palms. Wednesday night PLO action will be back on Saturday. Then I think we will return on into Monday as a little mix. And hey, shout out to our crew. There's Sonny here, producer. Here, action tracker, Carnival Sam out there patrolling the premises. Everybody's got a role here on this team.
I want to put a shout out to JB Irish, one of the finer players in the Indiana area. Guaranteed.
Oh, really? Big, oh, yeah, you're the big Hoosier guy. Keep boys. It's an Iowa Hawkeye fan. I don't know. Did you see that game at all last?
I saw you in the. I think you guys ran a stream and you were talking about I believe you phrased it, ass whooping that was put on.
I know Indiana's way better than that, but that was not their day.
It wasn't.
Flop King High clubs here for bagging.
A lot of high expectations after last year too, but they dumped that one.
Well, it's so weird that in past years you just play Middle Tennessee State in your first game, and then
they jumped right into the fray. Well, I think some of that's just with the COVID stuff. What did we just see? Did we just see a bet and a fold? We just saw somebody
bet and everybody folded. A flop flush, everybody folded after Jimbo bet it for like $100. That is almost more rare than seeing a pot go all in this turn.
It's very
stream.
It's certainly rare.
But yeah, there was a couple of just like conference games where that used to be your kind of gimme game, your guarantee game that you trot out there. But so it made for like a good first week to watch. But playing Iowa at home in that environment when nobody's been these people have seriously had nothing to do.
Oh, I know.
For the fact that when you get that first, everybody's all drunk and ready to go by 2:30. That's a tough place for anybody to win. So I don't know. We'll see what. You guys just be waiting for basketball season anyway. Okay, we've got a straddle. We've got some calls.
Well, that hasn't been very lucrative for us in the
no,
past 5 years either. This game seems to be a little more settled now. Now that we're 45 minutes in, it's like, okay, some of the gamblers have stopped, and now we're starting to see some people fold. We're not seeing the 8-way action. But I do like King Jack 9-10, although it is a pure badoogie.
Yeah.
Pink Panther's going to call. I like King Queen 10-8.
Yeah, this is not a how-to guide of but I think when you look at from above of if you're just
look at
want
Big
to
J.
learn how to isolate in some of these spots and the kind of hands that you'll be up against. I think this is a good gauge for people who are watching to be like, okay, this is what I can reasonably expect.
Well, Big J is, he changed gears.
Changing it up.
He went from 0 to 60 real quick. Now he's just getting it all in with jacks, which I don't recommend in PLO. They're fairly vulnerable. I know they're vulnerable in Hold'em, but I'd say a little more so in PLO, especially when there's been raised money in there.
All right, we are going to have a three-way all-in. Pink Panther here with the most, so it'll be another side pot between him and Alex.
And he just felt like he had to get it in with King Queen 10-8.
Yeah, isn't that what you're supposed to do? It's a primo hand. Clearly,
he does have the live diamonds.
System 2 talked about the value of some kind of
there's the king.
Gapper. All right,
and is he gonna?
Yeah, he's
kings
gonna
and
take
eights.
Kings over eights on the first board. Let's see. Our second is gonna come out King High Diamonds,
and
Scooper Duper here for the Pink Panther for 1.9K. The old King Queen 10-8.
Got him.
Tyler running odd here on the stream. He had a pretty big win on our Saturday one. I I don't know exactly how folks do after they do, but when you're
He has
under
been
the
on the
lights,
stream. He's been
did
running
pretty
hot.
well.
And then here, I mean, he starts off bad. He's got several reloads, and now he's getting it in, and he's scraping $2,000 pots with, you know, not a premium hand, but.
Not one slight.
And here comes Alex with another reload. Are we match stacked tonight?
I believe so. I would think if you were gonna play 2-5 like that would be in the cards. JBI are saying just want to see Matt in the live stream. Nickname in Indiana still the Nutter, Indiana legend.
I only
you and
played.
Dave and Bailey are like in the same kind of like scale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish.
But good buddy Matthew Schultz, I would love to see a round of PLO and a round of PLO 8.
I would too.
That would be kind of a fun one for the PLO. I think once we get the channel bigger and like the purists who do actually kind of like that content, and
You get some people too. You'll get some of the you'll get some of the big O crowd out just for the low, you know.
Yeah,
Even though it's 4-card, they still like, you know, they'll come out a little bit more.
I got some friends back from Wisconsin that said they would come down and play a big O stream if the game was big enough. So that would be a fun one to do.
Yeah, I mean, a round of PLO 8 and or Big O, that's perfect.
That is.
James 80 to call. Man, people love the deuces tonight, but James has a suited ace. Alan.
You can make the argument anything with deuces in it is virtually unplayable, but there's a lot of optimism here at Palm Social. Like that's what I love. Is
Very good word.
Everybody's got some firm belief that you can find a winner with it. But I mean, there's also what corresponds with it. So
optimism is correct, and they all believe.
Jimbo is going to mash the pot button.
Finally, we're back. God, these last two pots have just been, you know, these folds. Now we're back to a 5-way all in.
Just another night here at Live at the Palms. Hit the like, click, subscribe. Streaming 3 nights a week.
Ace King suited. It plays much better in Hold'em than it does in PLO, but he's going to get it in. Paul's going to call with 10s and a suited ace. James likely coming along.
Oh my God.
Pink Panther will come along. Alex, I don't know what he has, but he could find a fold though, but he doesn't.
He will also get first betting position here too, so like
yeah, that's great.
He might just find himself on an advantageous board and just be able to like, okay, I will make a dent in this and see if I can clear. But
when it's 300 to you and you have King 9 6 7, you have to.
You have to.
You have. It's one of those things where
it's in our new strategy guide, how to play poker at the Palms. It's like,
man, I appreciate the gamble. That's why I play here. I don't gamble like this. I've had big wins here, and I've also had big losses here because there's plenty of gamble.
It is.
I know Tyler's
2.5K, 6-way. On the way here to the flop, pick a hand, any hand. What's the one you want to win?
Jack 10 6 8
is going to look
nuts.
Flop favorably to Ace King, I guess. But I think if you're sitting there 7 hand.
No, Jimbo loves the flop.
Yeah.
With the two. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought it was 2 clubs.
No, it's just total rainbow. Ace of diamonds, Jack of clubs, 3.
And Jimbo's still ahead though. Tyler's hand is no longer valid. He should.
Jimbo's only got he probably has a little bit more than 79. I think if that's a greenie right there, that's at least 125.
Paul calls.
Yeah, that's going to be a 125. And
Ace 10. No, I mean, everybody's going to call because it's so, it's not a huge number. But
Jimbo's going to have control of the backdoor clubs if that
no
arises.
More aces
James
are
really
coming.
only hope here is that 9 or spikes a deuce. Paul also in the same boat that he needs to hit a 10. And Pink Panther here for, again, 125. These are all 125s. So the pot's slightly larger. It should be above about 3. All these chips flying, that's a lot of information to load up into the tracker. So we...
Well, there's the 10. Paul now has Paul is having a night. He somehow just finds the set, the 2 outer.
There is probably still going to be some reasonable fear of some king queens out there.
1 outer.
But it's also you're now more married to this hand.
Yeah, and Juice Box just turned 2 pair.
Yeah. So he's going to rip it here for the size of the pot, which I believe at this point, well over about 3, which, I mean, he easily covers everybody else. I think Pink just above what Pink Panther has, and going to have no reason.
I think James
probably
possibly.
No reason to continue either.
He has the nut flush draw. That is
true.
That is all the reason.
It. It's on the lower left-hand side. I missed that part. I'm focusing on the deuces, but
I mean, he knows he's not good right now, but he knows if it comes, he is good. And here he goes. Most overplayed hand in poker. Every poker game, the nut flush draw is the most overplayed hand.
Oh, wow. We're building us even higher and higher.
I think Juice Box gets away from it. He knows he can't. I mean,
so as you correctly pointed out, ace high spade draw turns for James. Jimbo
is drawing to the queen.
Pretty much drawing to a queen.
Non-spade queen.
Yeah. Paul here with the best hope, but James with a little life, and Jimbo a shrivel of hope, as he's got to have to spike a lady to get it all. And this number is now going to be corrected to about 5.8 with the stacks that are in. James in for 1.4.
There's
deuce,
a set of
spiked
deuces.
The deuce, but it's going to be no good for him anyway. The set of tens is now going to put Paul up to $10,000 in this 2-5 PLO game at Live at the Palms of Palm Social, Austin, Texas. Hit like and subscribe as set.
I mean, this is the.
Why
would you watch?
Look at this gigantic stack for this game. We are an hour into this game, and he has.
Why would you watch another stream? Why?
I don't know. People can give you compelling reasons.
This is entertainment.
I've never heard of any other live streams. That was the thing, is that for so long I didn't have a YouTube subscription. I was just kind of sheltered, and
that's what happens when you grow up in Iowa, Mike.
You know, you very much put the blinders on yourself. So I've heard of other live streams. They exist.
They're not like this.
No, there are variations, obviously. What's going on, Bryson Bird? Just let's effing go in the chat. This guy's getting kind of vicious here in the chat. Like, it's almost maybe getting a little dark to a degree. Some chat pro out taking shots.
He's correct. I love seeing Tyler at any game.
I really love seeing anybody at any game. I mean, that's really the spirit to me, is that I like seeing people of all types.
Me too.
Nits, grinders, gamblers. This is the way. Oh, we got a primo here for James.
That is a premium. Those are not dry aces.
No, those are some very wet aces.
Oh, I mean, Big J may call with 9s. No, he doesn't. Alan.
Interesting.
Did Alan just put in? He 3-bet.
King Jack 10-7 double suited. Alan Pichatello saying this is very confusing with Alan on the stream. But it just feels like he's being told what he's doing right now. We should get Alan Pichatello back here for a PLO stream at some point. We'll make it happen. All right,
King Jack 10-7 plays okay against aces, but ace, ace, king, queen, it doesn't.
Ugh.
Paul calls 1-6. I would call. I don't care what my four cards were.
Does it matter what cards you have?
No, not.
James gonna get it in though after the 3-bet, after this pot has been built up, and Paul's probably gonna get in here, right? He's going to be the 4th one to this party. You only have to put 1,000 in. 800 more to call after putting a 200.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Jimbo's got 500 with ace 9 for deuce.
He probably thinks he's somewhat live. I mean,
is that in?
What is Jimbo's moving in 500 with ace 4 9 deuce after a bet, a raise, and a 3-bet. He's moving in. That's, in the long run, that's not a profitable play, but we'll see how it works out for him. I don't think he's too worried about it.
All right, as we go ace 9 4 deuce, double suited, ace ace king with the ace king of diamonds, and king jack 10 7 for Allen. Pre-flop, all in, main pot for Allen, and another, probably a small side pot between James and Jimbo. I think the number could be deceiving. Okay, here we go.
Allen has a favorable flop.
Is going to wind up being hearts. Here for Allen with the king, jack 10 7. He turned a straight draw
Yes.
to go along with the heart draw. It turned out to be top 2 pair for James. And the river brought home the 5 of hearts. So we're going to get the first board taken care of. Paul didn't feel like gambling with this hand. And all right, we're going to do, I thought it was one board, but
Is it? They're going to run it twice? Allen's wins the first one.
yeah, for sure. We've got
And
him down for that.
if there is a side pot between James and Jimbo, which there isn't, there's very small, but James wins that with the aces. Or king.
Oh, okay. That is going to turn out to be Jimbo's pot with clubs.
As the aces go down 0 for 2. And those were not dry.
Those were like good aces, too. And
Yeah.
we've seen very bad aces when are just kind of regular raggedy okay aces, but
Par
here
for the
three
course.
ways.
Par for the course when you have gamblers. Aces just aren't that great anymore.
Racer Nerd saying, remember, people, if you're watching, you're liking, what's going on there, sir? Glad to have you here as we build up our library here at Live of the Palms. And I think, you know, for us is continuing to just have consistent episodes and then lead into our good stuff and build up our base and people that are our biggest subscribers and viewers. Over 534 subscribers here, less than like a month or so. So you can be a part of the army here as I click subscribe, turn on notifications, try to pump out some more highlight reels and good stuff.
Just your
That
standard.
decimizes. There's going to be a never-ending list of hands that we will be able to. The rise of Paul here.
Yes.
Look at this. Just
Bomb pot.
look at that.
200 here in the middle. They're going to be fighting over that. Trust me, we've got some fighters at the table.
Free money becomes a fun challenge. I think sometimes some of these PLO bomb pots is.
Oh, money won. It's twice as sweet as money earned. So,
All right. The PLO action continues. It is bomb pot time. This will take a minute for the hands to load up one by one. And we'll most likely start with the Pink Panther as loading up all the other candidates. Loading. It's going to be a flop straight for Juice Box. The flop in Broadway. We've got Cobbler Dog with ace high spades. Will certainly be top 2 for Big J. I guess a straight draw here for Allen with his pair of kings.
this is going to be a fight between the Cobbler Dog and the Juice Box.
You know, the Juice Box here doesn't necessarily want to. I mean, like, if he decides to try to raise this up, he's only getting called by the hands with the strong enough draws that he's not going to be able to fold out anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So if he finds a bricky turn, then I think he can be able to go attack it.
he does not want to see a spade or a board pair.
Does have backdoor diamonds to go along with it here, as it will be the 9 of spades. Good here for Cobbler Dog. Not much happening for anybody else though. He's got the almost nutter butters.
It's been a very nice night for Cobbler Dog. He plays the hand every 20 minutes. He wins the big pot.
And takes care of biz. Like,
Right.
That's no pushback on that hand whatsoever. Just made his hand of the turn, bet it, and everybody folded.
Right. And he's in there against the right guys. I mean, Juice Box is going to fold the straight there. And Allen folded 2 pair. There's a lot of people that would call 300 with 2 pair, seeing if they could boat the river. And you hate to see that, but I'm sure Cobbler Dog was happy to take that down when he did.
I think it's also weird to keep in mind, like, these are when our hands happening that they're they're letting people know that their cards are being read, like versus I can't even imagine the crazy stuff where if you like take out the embarrassment sometimes of maybe playing a really junky hand. That it can't even be just the regular cash games. It can be even more splashy and more fun and ridiculous. So
yes,
I'm keeping that perspective in mind. That it's like maybe if it wasn't streaming, there'd be a few people rampaging and
they're rampaging already here.
yeah. I mean, I don't even know if there is any more rampaging to be done. Like it's a very high level has been set tonight.
I mean, James calls King 7-5 deuce for $10. That is not a $1 hand, and he's just.
All right, Pink Panther here with Ace King 10 with the King 7 of diamonds is. I'm just gonna be just waiting for the person who decides to just repot. Like it's very rare have we just had a raise, 4 callers, flop. It has been limp, limp re-raise, limp raise, 3-bet, boom. So here's a more kind of, I guess, normal in all contexts. Top 2 for Pink Panther. I do not see any spade draws out there for anybody.
Yeah, he's going to bet pot.
The ace of spades in hands. Yeah, no, saying no one is watching this for content right now. This is priceless, though.
Juice box
is priceless is one way of putting it, Matt. I think is.
I mean, Tyler should raise here with top 2, and he's holding the ace of spades. Oh.
All right, juice box with, I guess, kind of a similar hand, but it is going to be straight for both gentlemen.
Right.
Front door spades get there on the turn, so
it'll just go call.
Cautious call.
Yeah, same.
This is kind of like a
favorable run out for the juice box. I mean, Tyler there could bet the turn knowing he had the ace of spades, because a guy like juice box is he might be one of the tighter players at the table, and he's not just going to call with jack high spades. Typically you won't get that, so you have kind of, that's a spot in PLO which you might be able to start getting people off hands that eventually got chopped between them. Tyler takes the pot down, but you see crazier things than somebody calling with
good gracious,
jack high flush.
We continue live at the Palm Social in Austin, Texas, via our website palmsocialclub.com, Instagram palmsocial512, also available on Facebook, located around the Crossroads Shopping Mall, 9070 Research Boulevard. I think we're finally starting to break the heat here. I feel like I'm not melting as much outside, so we might actually get... I couldn't believe they played that Texas football game at like 3 in the afternoon at this time of year. I was like, do you just want somebody to pass out on the field? Because that's...
They don't care.
You get everybody drunk before then, and then you just sit out in the sun for
beer sales have been lagging over by the stadium, so let's get them out there during the hottest time.
Yeah, just burn it right into them. All right, we've got a 10 straddle and a couple of limpers, maybe things.
It's a $10 bomb pot.
The unofficial one.
Unofficial. We did have one person lay it down.
And by the percentages, looks like it is James, I guess, with the best hand with top and bottom with a gutter ball.
Again, cobbler dog won't be going anywhere. Top pair, nut flush draw. Paul may hang in there. Gut shot, king high flush draw. So Paul for sure is hanging in there. Jimbo, gut shot, jack high flush draw. These are going to be called bets.
Yes, just for $40 here. So I think we'll continue now.
It's going to be an interesting turn card. Just a little pot builder.
And 7 turns, so full house enough for James. 7's full of aces, $270 pot. Let's see.
It makes all the draws obsolete. Did he
Yeah,
check it?
I don't see any other hands that might be compelled. I mean,
No, he's not going to
Paul
get
maybe can be talked into, but I don't. Oh, but we will get a bet out of Alan, who just decides to bet his hand last act with position on the table, and James for sure not going anywhere, but
I like to try by Alan. It's not going to work, but
no hope of this, and is actually going to provoke an all-in here for the last 447 for James.
Alan should be able to snip. I mean, he should just fold. I mean, even though it's 300, if you have almost no hope to win. If the guy has a boat, you have no hope. He can't win.
He's going to see
Does
that.
he think? I mean, he might think the
pretty
four's
much
live.
dead here.
Yeah, he is
Yep.
growing dead. There's
There's
nothing he can
no
hit.
card that can come that can help him. And King on the end, so full house now for James. We'll chip him up to 1,200. As we continue here, 2.5 PLO, minimum 2,000. I think max at the start was 1,000. I believe it has matched the stack if anybody decides they want to be able to do so, but I don't see anybody too much in a hurry to put 10K on here and just gamble.
This is match stack.
I'm not 100%. I should review that with somebody here, see if they know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% either.
Dave might come like Matt Myers here, as instead of just me rambling, it's more fun to have Matt here for entertainment value, and you know all these guys, so it's.
Yes.
I said that, like, if you're ever looking for expert analysis, you're not getting it from either one of us, but if you want to have a good time watching a PLO stream, at least be mildly entertained, and even more above. Okay, I'm trying to think what's the next standard above that. It's some standard, so we're having fun back here, but it's.
Oh yeah, these guys look. They're starting to get a little bored. Folding now.
You're like, ugh.
Alan is gonna play.
It's almost like they need one of the short stacks to kind of be like bait into just like, oh, okay, can I get myself into a $400 all-in and just run it out?
Jimmy goes ahead and obliges with a raise to 30.
As we go, ace queen, 10 deuce, double suited, 10 9 4 3 7 6 4 3 8 6 6 5.
Jimbo's gonna bet top pair. Oh no, he checked. Paul has bottom pair.
Not much. I mean, it's.
Alan has two pair, bottom two. Straight draw for Alex.
Oh, I bet him 100, call of 100. Here we go. Does.
Not a lot of turn cards that Jimmy's gonna like. Or excuse me,
Maybe
that
it's
Alan's
like
gonna
a-
like. With bottom two, man, it's a. I like the bet to try and take it down. And
Perhaps maybe like the ace of clubs. I don't know if that card is still alive or. Okay, king turns, which will give a heart grow also now to Alan.
you still don't like that card.
Not particularly. Got a gutter ball here to a jack here for Jimbo, but no real live or active draws. Alan could just flex and. He'll bet 150, and it looks like we will get a call. So heads up here to the river is a 10 of hearts.
That's a nice card.
Queen 10.
It's gonna
two pair for Jimbo, flush
It's
for
gonna
Alan.
get Alan paid off. Alan may whatever he's got left. He bets 400. See if Jimbo finds a call with Broadway. If anybody can, he can. Nice lay down.
Yeah, that is going to be one of there for Alan. I was going to stack. Hey! Kirk. Come on, talk. Good to see you back there. All right, let's keep it going here live with the Palms. Been graced with royalty here. I can't say who, but what a pleasant surprise. All right, we'll keep it going here. 2-5 PLO. Quite a game we got here. It has gotten a little bit more tepid as of late. A little calm now that the big stack's sitting there with 10K. So I think Paul could be one of those guys to become the driver of the action if he so chooses to.
Oh, yeah.
If he decides he wants to go pedal to the metal at some of these spots. And
There's going to be some big pots in our future. Big J with a hand I like to play. He folds, but I like to play a hand like that. It is connecting, but it's kind of a hidden. Alan's now folding ace queen. Alex proper folds. I like this hand by the Pink Panther, who
it's double suited too.
He did let me down tonight. There is no salmon sweatshirt. There's no salmon. You know, the Pink Panther's not living up to his name tonight.
It's not really on brand right now, is what you're saying.
No,
like
it's the Camo Warrior right now. Black hat. Come on, you let me down.
All right, Jimbo Baggins with kings unsuited. Does have the 8 deuce of clubs in hand.
Tyler's gonna call. Tyler's got one of those hands that plays very well in PLO. Double suited, all connecting, and a pair.
To the side, does Jimbo want to, or excuse me, does Pink Panther want to make this pot bigger?
I don't know if I would want to make it bigger. I just want to see the flop here. Will Juicebox get in there? I don't like his hand much here. Three of his suit. He wants to play though.
It's kind of like a deceivingly looks like it's a pretty hand, but it's
not.
It just doesn't cover a lot of the board.
No, I mean look at.
I mean there are some boards that can kind of connect, but it's just probably a low percentage of them, and especially with some of these other hands roped around, like all the 9s are pretty much out that he would need to hit on.
Tyler's hand has the most.
Get to, and there's the case 9 as ace flops.
This is bad for Tyler.
Jimbo here with a set of kings, a heart draw for James, albeit the 10 high variety. Pink Panther with kings and not, or set. Oh God, he wants set over set again.
Yeah.
Sometimes these are just mysteries that are unraveled to you as you go hand by hand.
He needs to see. Did he bet that?
Yeah, he bet 720. I think he bet the size of the pot. So
he needs
box, single pair shall fold.
And I don't think Jimbo has that much left, so he's definitely in. James is all in, yeah. Tyler went from the highest to the 1%er. Man.
Yeah, he is going to have to go for a straight because we see all the 9s are out. James has got one in hand.
He could win the side pot, though. He could still make money in this pot.
Oh, okay. You're also correct.
He could win some money here if it just is a pure no heart run out or maybe a board pair. He definitely wants to see a board pair, but it's hard to pair when there's 2 sets.
Is it a Is it a possibility that the side pot is bigger than the main in this?
Yeah.
Because Bildo, I'm trying to remember how many ways we went.
Well, he's only got 230, so James has an additional 754 over that, so there's 1,500 at least in the side, and the main is 1,400.
Yeah, so we wound up. Just doing a little replay. We're back here on the YouTube. It is going to be the Queen of Hearts in the end. So James,
he chops it.
Yeah. So
I think they chopped the side, unless James hit the. Did he hit the straight?
Yeah, I don't see any cards that James, I think, could have. I mean, he was drawing a little live, what looks like, in that first board when it comes out 10 of diamonds and 5, and then. So, be a chop on the side, and Jimbo going to take all of it? Oh, no, he's going to take the half.
He takes half.
Yeah, it takes half, and then. So he's still kind of sitting with a puncher stack here as punch it on in. That was not my best readout of this board. I got distracted trying to remember how much was in the main, and then all of a sudden we've got just chaos developing on the side. So that is kind of just the name of the game here, Pot Limit Omaha.
Give the guy some credit. Give the guy some credit. A lot going on. 10 high flush draw. I mean, I can't do it, but
no,
I'm tight.
Some people have more courage than that.
Yes.
They're not afraid of getting out flushed. And I think when you're in net, that's just like the worst feeling of like, king high hearts, ace high hearts. But like here, it's just like, 8 high flush draw, 10 high flush draw. If I expect my opponent's just got one other different side of it, I think some players can get kind of convinced as it's like, no, it's live. That's all that matters. It doesn't have to be.
No,
And that's not necessarily a theory I subscribe to, but it's also
when you make the call though, you have no idea 10 high flush draws live. You are very surprised or pleasantly surprised when you see when the cards get turned over that it is.
Paul. That giganto stack is able to build a letter L and kind of a fortress out there. It's quite a stack here. 10K at 2.5 PLO right now was. Got the table covered by a wide margin and by far probably the biggest winner. And some shorter stacks they're trying to level up, and we'll always be on the lookout to see if that's going to be something that happens too.
What kind of t-shirt is that a 98 degrees t-shirt from Cobbler Dog? I wouldn't peg him as a 98 degrees fan, but
I really took him to be more of an NSYNC fan, probably.
Me too.
I don't know. That's
Big
Nick
Lachey guy.
Justin the Kelly, like it's just 98 something. It's I mean, I need to see the full run out of that shirt, but
I'm 100% positive it's not a 98 degrees, knowing the Cobbler Dog.
Unless he lost like a prop bet, that's the only way that you can. But who in the world would have?
Okay, here
98%
we go.
chimp.
I see it now.
Okay, there, you didn't see the percent. Like it looked like 98 degrees, but you didn't see the rest of the percentage symbol.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that one kind of bunched up. So.
Here we go. The standard, was this 8-way?
Yes.
7-way?
David Pratt saying nothing like playing with a 2000 big blind stack. I love it. Yeah, that is the feeling of power at your fingertips. And it came like this.
Especially a guy like Paul. The 10,000 is in play.
All right, 10-5-4. It's 182. As we look at the percentages, Alex looks like he's got the best draw of the bunch with an open ender and a rainbow board.
He's
Pink
paired
Panther. I don't. He's going to call with the pair of fives and some backdoor potential. Maybe he just feels like there's going to be some bingo cards.
For sure.
A little confused on that. 10s and 5s here for the juice box. A wheel draw for Paul and backdoor diamonds.
And $10,000. So.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest part of the equation. It's like, this is effort money.
And what we've seen tonight, the turn will be a deuce of diamonds or a jack giving him the Broadway wrap. So,
but, yeah, is there a jack of diamonds amongst this? But it's live. It's a 9 of hearts, which will open things up a little bit.
Yeah, look at that ambitious call by Tyler. Now he's got the heart draw, the 2 pair. Now
Nines and 5s.
His heart draw is no good, but
with a straight flush draw to the 8 of hearts, and Alex does also turn some variety of draws, so his heart's slightly better, I guess, in this spot.
Yeah.
Paul's got a gutter ball to a jack.
Tyler don't want to see a heart. He just wants to
top and mid here for juice boxes. Trying to figure out why anybody would be in some of these spots is such a tricky part of this game.
You're not going to figure it out.
No, it is an action game, a gamble game, a good God, I hope I improve by the river, or I hope I fade the world. As now Paul is third to enter in this. He's not going to fold. It's like 268 for what's going to be in a 2K pot.
He's got enough pot. 2 gutters. He's open-ended in his mind. 2 gutters. Gutter to the wheel, gutter to the king high.
That's a double, a double gutter of the unconventional variety, I guess, for PLO, and it is. God, dude, you gotta be kidding me.
No, you know it. I mean, it's his night.
It is Paul.
That's straight.
Night.
I mean, that is that's second nuts, and here comes Tyler's betting.
No.
Tyler's with 5s and 9s.
He's not gonna like it when he gets because he's getting raised.
Raised, popped. Like, I mean, it's.
Paul's going to take his time, though. He likes to look. He likes to... Let's see. Yeah, there he goes. Puts all the pink out there. Tyler made a snap call. He wasn't even in the... It wasn't his turn yet.
So he will press pot. I think the graphics are, instead of just noting whatever the pot is, just for the sake of this, it's essentially putting Pink Panther all in is what you're being read as Paul shows that he has made a wheel. And he is just an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Unstoppable force here tonight in 2-5 PLO. The poker gods graciously giving him some terrific cards and some well-timed spot. He's been taking care of his dealers, so that's one of the nice parts here at Palm Social is
Absolutely.
folks like to be able to take care of everybody here on the table. And
Double gutter gets there. Paul, the man. The myth. There it is. That's a nice one.
That is that's a pretty nice, generous act here as.
Well deserved. Hey,
no
Chris
kidding.
finds
I mean,
it.
that is Chris probably like the MVP of Paul's night so
100%.
far. Has hit a lot of big cards. It's incredible cash game session here.
You've
for
been in the
him.
box enough to know that you guys get all the blame. None
I
of
have
the
actually
credit.
not dealt here yet. I've not
No,
played,
but you've
I've
been
played,
in the
I've
box.
But metaphorically, as I probably will eventually.
So it's nice to see when somebody gets there on a double gutter for a pot of that size that there's some reward there.
Yeah, that is.
Good on you, Paul. You the
I'm
man.
finding that out. There are rewards to being here versus kind of where we were before. It's just like, oh, hey, thanks for doing that. Where's my? Wait, what? Oh,
My-
I'm out. Okay, fine.
You can't pay your
guess I
rent
will
with
go
pats
out
on the back.
myself. What's that?
You can't pay the rent with pats on the back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've tried. I'm just like, dude, look at all these compliments I got on this Instagram
My
post.
Yelp reviews
They're
are
like,
great.
you know, wow. You know what, sir? We're just going to let this month pass. All right, here we go. 6-5, 10, 2 clubs is going to be...
Alan's
see a
in there
club
with
draw.
top pair.
This is a
There's nothing.
categorically small pot in comparison to what we've seen for a lot of the night here at this.
Lost my interest at $80. Come on, guys, you're
Boring.
letting us down.
Unbelievable. Like,
That's weird. Paul is winning.
it's that breaking development here as...
Just calls. Let's see what the turn brings. Can Alan get there with a 7 or a 3?
It's a
Oh,
3! It just turns a set of 3s like no big deal.
the club. No, it doesn't slow him down. He bets 40. I don't think Paul's going to continue. Yeah.
That's no good reason. And
Paul's
quickly
sitting
pack
on-
it up and move to the next hand. It looks like maybe Alex is out there. So there might be a chance for you if you want to open that seat up there for you, Matt.
I mean,
It's
that's a good lineup. Trust me. But when you see the hands that are getting played in certain seats and how something is running, I mean, I'm a firm believer in some of these seats don't run as well as others, and Paul is in the hot seat tonight.
Yeah, that is. It is tough to beat a guy on a heater. That is.
And Cobbler Dog has played. I mean, he's having a nice night, and he's played about 3 hands. I mean, very good on him. I mean, that's the style I play.
Hang out in the weeds is. All right, what else do we have going on? Of course, to the fine folks in Tempest Portal. They're showing off what the games we have here as 5-10 happening, 1-3 full table. We got another 1-2-5 PLO game happening as well, along with our streaming. Wednesday's always a really good night here, so
Every night is a good night at the Palms.
every night's a damn good night, but Wednesday especially, a fun atmosphere as always. Again, we're open again on Saturdays. Come watch college football. Be a part of our 1-2 No Limit live stream. We got the lineup set. It looks like even for a 1-2 game, should make it very fun. Aces, dry aces with Jack 3 here for Allen. Paul on
Here
the
we
heater.
go.
Paul's probably just going to win this hand, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
just destined.
Queen Jack 10-3. That's in. Allen's got the aces. Fairly dry. I mean, Ace Jack is okay, but no suits.
That is all right. Queen Jack 10-3 is going to come out 9-9 at 5.
That's a scary flop for Allen. I mean, I think he still has to bet it to test to see if anybody has a 9, which they don't here. So he should be able to take this down.
I guess it is just sort of like you bet knowing that depending, like if you get any heat back your way, you can generally presume it's going to be the hands that you would expect it to be.
Yes.
Like nobody, it's. I mean, you may find some players that might just sit there with like an ace high spade draw that would maybe entice the ability to maybe leverage somebody else in that spot if they feel like it's like a big pair hand just trying to bully. All right, we got Big Mike coming on in here. He was on our last PLO stream.
Zero fear. The game just got
Infinitely better.
I mean, I don't want to say infinitely. I don't want to take away from Alex, but Mike is going to call a lot of hands and play a lot of hands very fast. So this
All right.
This is it's a good substitution just for
just for the viewing audience.
Absolutely.
Here out. That's no disrespect to Alex. I love
None.
Alex, but it's. If you wanted to add another extra jolt into this game,
You just got it.
Tonight's your night.
And I always like to see some family,
Yeah. PLO fam. We have a race to 15, and could we have a rare moment where it's just a $15 raise in 4 ways? Is that going to be allowed? It's not. It's not happening here, folks. We've got a re-raise out of the blinds. Welcome to the game. As the Big Mike is... What is he repotting this with here out of the big blind? I think he's only going to be allowed to go up to 105 at this point. And that will still work good enough, I think.
It's going to get no folds. No folds.
None whatsoever, as...
I may from Big J. Let's see. 90. He's got a suited ace with 6s. He does let it go. Paul with the ace king. Suited ace, suited king. He's calling. Especially with the way he's running.
All right, here we go. Ace, 7, 5. Dun, 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 dun. Ace pairs with the flush draw here for Paul. Go figure. I mean, is Juicebox going to rip it here with a pair of 7s? Maybe some backdoor diamond hopes. It's not going to be live though, because Paul's got king high diamonds, so
I'm not sure that the pair of 7s is going to hold.
Yeah, you don't think, or it's not. Yeah, it's not going to improve, or. Right now, Paul, I guess, just pair of aces with a king with ace high spades, so it is going to have to be an offsuited queen, a jack, 10 or 7, and even any of those cards on the turn could potentially help Paul. So, Juicebox just hoping to be able to thin the herd, I think, or else.
Yeah, I mean, there was no. I mean, he was just. I think he's.
Oh, it turns diamonds, or rivers a queen. It's aces up here for Paul that, yet again, cannot be defeated here tonight.
No.
Juicebox had a little bit of hope. I mean, he turned like a gutter ball, so
did.
it wasn't totally.
No, it's
it's
there
was some
PLO action where every turn changes the equity, and he certainly gained some, but I think he was looking for the exit with that. You know, when you shove the 7 there.
Yeah, you're. That's kind of like a last gasp. It is like if the poker gods say it's meant to be for me to win this hand, then I will probably stay in the game. Like if you just sometimes you connect on a punt, the other team drops it, you connect with the ball back inside the 5, and now you're back in scoring position. So
And we got another bomb pot.
All right,
I mean, what is Paul? Paul at 12,000 yet?
yeah, live the palms, hit the like, hit subscribe. Let's see if I know that like almost 60% of the people that watch are actually like not subscribers, so you might just be finding this in search and
This is poker entertainment, folks.
That this is not your usual 5-5 hold'em game.
No.
Ace King versus Queens all in pre. Like, this is some pile some chips on a draw, sets, 2 pairs. We got aces here out of this bunch, and the bomb pot, unfortunately, does not allow him to be able to thin the herd, so it's everybody antes, and it's going to be Allen who flops a straight with a redraw to the higher end of it with potential backdoor diamonds. Ace high diamonds left for Jimbo if he does carry on, which he will not with aces on this particular board.
Jimbo folding aces, I like it. But bomb pot, that's the easiest time to fold them.
Yeah. Very easy to be able to convince yourself there's so many other hands out there that just can completely just beat you over the head.
Cobbler dog getting it in, drawing relatively dead. Oh,
drawing a little bit better, though.
Yeah, very much so now.
Set of queens now gives him the hope to be able to pair the board. He will not, and
Allen's
straight still good.
Down. Nice.
The winner there for Allen does see some of the stacks up here. This is a very huge disparity between the 275 to the 11,000. David Pratt saying, I double subscribe. For everybody's safety, I encourage the practice of using a booster subscription. Now, that's a really good advice. You got a backup account that you can go to. You can always, troll the comments or the chat section with your burner, then come back and say nice things with the original. I mean, it's only good health recommendations here by the Pratomatic. Chat Pro and safety. All right.
Wait, is Jack back? He's not leaving?
Say what?
Juice box? I thought he might be out.
Well, the phone was left there, so maybe he had to take a breather and collect his thoughts. Maybe listen to some 98 Degrees.
Cobbler dog.
Find some inspiration.
I want to see Cobbler Dog's hand. He lived for 20. He's not super loose. He usually has fairly decent holdings. Big Mike's got to call 100 with Queen Jack Deuce 3. I mean, it is double suited. Ace King Jack 5. King high. There's no way Jimbo should call with 3/8 in your hand.
Very rarely. There's good discipline, right? You fool the distance with your 3/8 in your hand. I mean, Steamed Ola Matt Clefetos might still find a way in there if only 8 of diamonds with the 8 of hearts or something, but good restraint. Loading. Paul is going to fold as well as...
I wouldn't fold any hand if I was Paul.
When you're on a heater, like, literally every hand gets there. I mean, that's just the rules. Heater rules work way differently than regular poker run good. Like, it's...
As I thought, Dave has the queens. We'll see if they get there.
Look at this mishmash of hands here, as Diamond Draw is going to flop for both Allen and Big Mike. Allen with the better diamonds, but...
With that yin-yang twin flop there with the 3-6-9.
And down. Wow, that's a brilliant reference.
Thank you, sir.
That was pretty good. I haven't heard the yin-yang twins in a while. That was...
You ain't hanging out with
2005 college years in bars. I can smell the place now.
If a queen, Queen of Hearts on the turn, that's the official yin-yang twin hand.
Trip 6s here for Allen. He's got a lock on the hand. Unless he folds, is Big Mike going to keep hammering here for 350?
Yeah, because he's got the jack high flush draw, but Allen's got that covered. He's got the 6 covered. I don't think Allen's going to fold. As a matter of fact, he's going to put Big Mike all in. Big Mike wants to call here with just a 3 and the jack high diamonds. I think Mike will find a fold. There's too much. I mean, he's got too much back. He's only put in 150, so he should be able to find it here.
All right,
Michael put pressure on you, though. I mean, he bets a hand like that just in case, you know, you don't have the 6. You have to fold, typically. I like actually playing
especially
with
even with the
he makes you
weakest
play.
draws. So carry on here is 2-5. PLO has not disappointed in any way whatsoever. This has been,
Juice box is back. He's in for 5. That's my strategy. I'm a small ball guy. I like to min buy, run it up.
yeah, I mean that's probably a reasonable expectation to do so. I mean, it's just
It's on the table. It's there, so you can win. I'm not sure what Paul started with, but it couldn't have been over 1,000, correct?
I don't. Let me go into the rewind here and see on the first stack that was listed. Literally first hand, I think an all-in. But yeah, Paul had 1,000 to start.
Yeah, well, it's been a nice little 11,000.
I can't remember. There may have been a moment he had to rebuy, but I don't think that happened.
I don't think it did either. I think he's
It's
just
just been winner.
he's about 5,500 an hour right now. It's bad. It's not a bad hourly rate.
Yeah, I mean it's very hard to make that per hour without exploiting a lot of people. So yeah, that's a decent rate in today's market. It might get you closer to owning some of the things you love. Thank you, Jimmy Bluffett. So sub to the channel, hit the like, David Prats, and thanks, Mike. I get told all the time that I'm almost too caring and empathetic for everyone's health and well-being. That's, double subscribed.
Oh yeah.
There has to be somebody who has to be at least a little bit overkind.
That's what he
Let's
lists
make up for the crassness
as a
of the world
con on
sometimes.
his resume.
I'm
he
just a
cares
kind.
too much.
Yeah, they care too much, and then
He works too hard.
Yes, that's the always like. I don't know how many people who do job interviews hear that and just want to vomit or strangle the person. You're like, that's usually bullshit when somebody says that. But all right, we've got hands here. Is Big Mike going to raise up here to 75?
Tyler calling with the queens. Oh. It's always one of those things where you sit down, you just went bust, your first hand back is ace, queen,
Yeah,
king.
the juice box could get it in for another 500 ace, king, queen.
I like it. He's getting called, but
Paul's hand not quite good enough to go for $500.
he needs to see some hearts or a king because the aces are 6 feet under at this point. There's none. I guess there's one out there. I would think Mike has to have some form of an ace or some 4 suited.
I mean, it's like
Oh,
3.
all
Okay,
aces
all
are
the aces
gone.
accounted for.
So, juice box can. Oh well, he's got a full
Yeah,
wrap.
he's got a.
But all the aces are gone, so that's gone. The queens are gone. Those are gone. He can hit a king.
Or I haven't seen many of the 9s out there, so.
And that's it. 9 or king. So that's one of those scenarios when your full wrap is not really a full wrap. But the funny thing about PLO and Big O is everybody counts every out they have, even though most of
some
them
of them are
available.
just going to be shared and folded, so it's.
But they never take into that. They always count them all. Trust me.
Oh, of course. So it's.
James moves in.
Yeah, Panther also with a straight draw with a queen 9 side down to the 8. So it is really anybody's game here. We'll see if James I guess can find backdoor diamonds or backdoor spades.
James just really has the straight gutter with
He's
and that's just a chop. James
it's just gambling on the hope
What
of
is he?
the
Is he
turn.
hoping 2 back doors?
Yeah, 2 backdoors I guess, and
The straight draw?
maybe juice box both have ace 4, so they're running 3-5 is a 9. 9 with the diamonds turns and then a king.
Oh wow, the only
Ace
king.
queen. They're gonna split it 3 ways. On that board is a jack on the end,
And
and
Tyler gets 3/4.
wow, the most unlikely of cards to come to that spot with everybody holding ace queen in their hand. They're going to split all of the first board between the three of them, and then Pink Panther gets the other half of it. So
what a turn though for
9 of diamonds. I mean, it was just
James went real live there with the diamond draw, and you know, Pink Panther then had the nuts, or excuse me, Juice Box had the nuts.
Chris Chamberlain saying non-nut flush draws too. Everyone's favorite quote out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. And that's the fun part of PLO. I don't necessarily want to just play with anybody who nut pedals too. So it's an accepted given that, you know, hey, people are going to play unusual draws. That's just the reality of it. So
the reality is, though, and it's a little skewed in games like this because you don't see it. But in a bigger game, or in a game, somebody's telling you the story, and you have a queen high flush draw, and there's not a lot of draws available. They'd probably have a higher flush draw than you, or they wouldn't be betting. But people don't. They don't care. They don't.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest
others.
thing. Is so we should get the point. Like people just don't care. Like
Yeah.
be like, hey, you suck. Hey, that guy has no hop. You know, like they don't care. Like it's not.
No.
You're not going to publicly or privately comment to people to change up their style. It just that's the only thing I don't get about this sort of online subculture. Just like reacting to poker videos, and I think it's great. Engagement's great. Like it. There has to be some ability for people to want to interact, but it's just sort of idea that, like, by calling them an idiot, moron, dumb, you know, like that's going to change that somebody's player behavior. Like, I don't give a like that doesn't matter.
No, I mean James moves it in with ace queen there. He had the worst of the worst. He chops the pot, but in the end, the man's wearing $1,000 sweatshirt. Does he care about the $300 he puts in? No. That's how it is.
It's all good too, and it's no, and certainly no judgment from anybody of us here at whatsoever. So it's kind of one of the appreciations of life here at Palm Social. I just like to have fun, good time.
I come here because this is the type of action you get, honestly.
Yeah, like this is a good demonstration, especially for anybody who's been going to watch this on replay and go like, maybe I should play PLO, or like, where should I go? And
it's here.
It's here, man.
These are the type of games that break off every night here, so by all means, stop by. If you're hungry, plenty of food options in the Crossroads Center.
You know,
everything's available to you.
There's some more higher end choices, and then there's some elite choices, which if you've ever had the opportunity to go to a fine dining of Chili's, that's not too far away.
Super elite.
Pluckers.
Yeah.
The Bon Air right next door. It's got to feel like a Midwest bar, I believe. And I think there's like a Cajun restaurant opening around the corner.
There is.
Soon that's caught my eye. I was like, okay, that looks enticing once it opens.
Le Bleu is very good with the banh mi sandwiches and the Vietnamese fare. Solid, very solid.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that is something the fun part about the social card club methods. Again, is still just the ability to kind of be able to get food delivered, and they don't have to go through like an entire casino.
No.
Or have to find some entrance. Like it's very convenient to be able to kind of live your lifestyle the way you like. Pajamas, sweatshirts, hoodies, shorts. Like it's no.
Out of all the social
just wear a shirt.
Clubs, this one has the best food options, period. It's not even close.
Yeah, I don't think there's a... You can go to Pizzeria's not too far down the way, and there's some... I mean, there's the British pub, like the British...
Waterloo, Nosh and Bevy, Dairy Queen.
DQ.
You want some Olive Garden? It's right across the street.
David Pratt saying pour one out for the Benihana that used to be there.
Oh,
apparently there used to be. But
there was. It is no longer.
All right, we got a couple of decent hands here. Pink Panther, Jack 9, 8.
Another very playable hand. I love hands like that. And Tyler slowly built up a stack. I know he's in for some buy-ins, but
it's actually going to be three-way action as Big Mike here as well.
Juice Box again is not going to fold.
Top pair, flush draw with the ace king of spades. Only 71 bucks. You absolutely are getting it in there. And Big Mike has a 6-side flush draw, and we'll just bully out.
He's almost drawing dead.
He turned some outs, but looks like kings and 7 is going to be good for the juice box. So he'll chip himself back up here to 842 bucks or so.
Nice.
There's a winner. Keeps him in the game. We have a Big J still kind of on the short stack. Jimbo jabbing in there with one that hasn't been able to kind of come away with the scooper yet. But David Pratt, don't forget the best bowling alley food in the whole city at Lebowski Grill just across from Burnett. I think that's probably another.
That's a shot. Hey, very good, David Pratt.
That's a great astute.
It is a very good call.
A lot happening around this area. And
it used to be the #1 Cougar bar here in North Austin. Was right there. The Sherlock's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was the place to get cougars.
It was a solid choice back in the day.
If I was a single man, that's the kind of
that
time
was the
traveler.
Mixed
Big
game. Jay's married.
Here we go. Mixed game Mike checking in from Rounders Live. Kobe Steakhouse, guaranteed same jokes every time, and a smokestack onion. Yeah, that's I think further up the road, but for those that were looking for the Benihana experiences. Okay. Wow, Pink Panther, the 4-cross King Queen, Jack 10 with the King Queen of Spades.
Right,
we're destined to get all in here between him and Big J, I'm sure. Just a matter if anybody else decides.
Cobbler Dog calls with a suited ace 10-7-3. That's really the worst hand he's had that he's played to this level. Big J's just gonna move it in.
All right, up here to 265.
Good luck. I think if this opens it up, which it does, Pink Panther should re-raise here. Get this.
Yeah, he'd want to get all of Cobbler's weaker hands out of it. So.
Absolutely. And he does. I think he put in the raise.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-bet up to 965.
Dave's going to fold. The Cobbler Dog is too disciplined to call. Ace 10-7-3.
All right, we've got Taylor here in the box. Is going to give up our heads-up showdown. PJ trying to potentially fade some damaging boards. Just looking for low cards that are not spades.
That's not.
Ace is full.
That's good.
Oh, trip jacks. It does.
It doesn't matter. He's got aces full.
Yeah,
I know Tyler hasn't seen his hand
he would have
yet.
had to hit quads, obviously.
That's
but
a bad flop for Tyler because it takes
rough.
all his outs.
Yes.
Now he's drawing dead.
He's going to flop a spade draw, and it's going to get scooped here by Big J with aces. Aces hold. And, yeah, he would have rather just had to come out like ace 3-3 and then have some hope on the second board and be like, I can still crack this here.
That's such a good hand, too. That plays so well against ace-ace.
What's going on, Danny, here in the chat? David said you want to go Cougars, hop in time machine and go to Cool River Circuit 2007. I'm sure there are some, there's a never-ending run of, like, glorious day stories of, I'm sure, how fun the city was.
He is correct, though. Cool River, Sherlock's, those were the two, and both of them have been shut down. Cool River no longer exists either. It's now an office building of some sort.
Taking it through a time machine here was. I've really not done a whole lot of bar experience as of late. That's just. You're not a drinker, if I recall. Is that right?
I do not drink, but
you'll
I enjoy
occasionally
Cougars.
pass out drinks to.
I have an extensive liquor collection.
Wow, that's a whole lot wrapped around that, but I had way too much last night, so it was. The problem becomes when you do sports broadcasting, it gets super caffeinated on these C4s. It's very hard to just be like, I'm going to calm down now. I'm going to relax. And, like, you just are like, that was the best game I ever called, and it was great. And it's like the only way I could come down is with alcohol. and it's just like a circle of like I caffeinate myself back up, and then, so it's like, you know what, I'm gonna make some life changes here eventually. But all right,
some nice hands here.
Queen Jack, Jack 9 as Ace 886 is going to flop a heart draw for Jimbo Baggins. Is going to top pair here for top pair only for Cobbler Dog.
James has a weaker flush draw with tens. He might see a turn. Who bet it? Cobbler Dog? No, Cobbler Dog didn't bet. I'm sorry. Jimbo bet the 125 with the nut flush draw.
David
James comes along too. He's got a pair of tens. He's actually good at the time, but he's 7% to win. He'll probably go up now that Big Mike's folded to 38%.
Better calls get it off here to the turn with a Dewey. Is the brickiest of them all is Checky down to the river.
James is going to win with tens.
So as we go to showdown, James going to win it. Jimbo just can't catch any breaks here tonight. Like he's
not running good.
Not running good whatsoever. So he's David Pratt here in the chat asking, where would one theoretically go today to find some cougars? Asking for a friend. Man, you probably got to go to work. Probably so expensive to live here. I don't know if there's enough time for people to just go out and enjoy lives. They're already their second job or handling their kids, or I don't know.
And I'm unaware. I mean, I've become to the age where if they're a cougar to me, they no longer are appealing. So I'm unaware of the newest, latest, and greatest cougar haunts. But tune in next week.
Tune in next week, guys.
We're gonna do some research on that.
That's what we call T's in the biz to break down apparently all the locations.
Do some research for you.
I think COVID just kind of normalized drinking at home, and maybe that I don't know if that's going to be a bad thing.
Changing the liquor laws. I mean, you can get drinks to go.
You're going to avoid people, and I mean, I love people, but sometimes I don't like being around people.
Right.
But I'm also very social. But okay, we've got raise up here by the Pink Panther with King Queen 6-4 double suited. Not the best of the bunch, but I guess workable. We're going to get multi-way action here, though. We got 7 freaking players in this right now.
Standard game. And really there's no... I mean, Paul's hand to me is, the best hand of the bunch. I know it's not equity-wise, but...
Top 2 with a straight draw, but
that's weird. He's
going to be some spade draws out of the bunch, I'm sure.
No, he can get every one of these spade draws to fold. Big Mike's got to fold a deuce, or 8 deuces spades.
I guess he's got a gutter ball to a 6, so that is also what's going to drive some action here potentially for Paul. Excuse me, I got that backwards. It's
dude, if Paul puts $1 in, he should just fold.
I mean, Big Mike here, excuse me, with a straight draw to a 6 with the 8 high spades. And juice box with a gutter ball, but too expensive. And
6 with the spades. Will he do it? Yes. Deuce.
Deuce.
Spade? No, that's deuce.
Is that a spade? That is it's club. 2 of clubs is going to give, I guess, a pair here to Big Mike. So now we go to 365. Spades are technically good here for Big Mike, but this is kind of a... Okay, it's just like, all right, well, maybe they are good. I told
you, he's not afraid. He's got plenty of heart. He's going to put it in. And trust me, if the spade comes, he's putting it in. If the 6 comes, well, he's got the,
3 of diamonds. So he's made runner, 2 pair with 3s and deuces. Kings and 9s going to be good here for Paul, who cannot be defeated tonight.
No.
Just cannot be defeated here tonight. Oh, good God. It's going to be like another 2.3K pot. There are some worlds maybe there where Big Mike could think like this in 3s with as much money in there. If it's like a single pair king hand that with a higher flush draw, like Sometimes heads up when you get to showdown, like that hand miraculously becomes a winner, but it's not anything you're going to read on a strategy guide or a training site as to...
Nothing here is ever going to be that.
Yeah,
not in this stream.
It's kind of like what that warning that financial advisors have to give, or like anybody who does YouTube content that's specifically around like investing. They're like, I am not a fiduciary or a financial advisor. This is not meant to be taken as poker advice. I mean, there is some deductive thinking that you may have to do on your own, and that's fine, but...
Trust me, nobody
we didn't bring Matt in here to break down all the equity splits and some of the deep-rooted theory. We came here to have some fun.
Nobody thinks they're a better PLO player than me, trust me.
That's
my ego is big, but, you know, I don't know the odds on everything, but I do know that usually deuces and threes don't win.
It's very sound logic to be able to apply to this.
But when you put that much money in, and you hit the second pair on the river, you just gotta kind of go with it and just figure you're rebuying.
Alrighty, 7-6-4. The race up by Big Mike.
One of my favorite hands, but again, Big Mike's got, you know, 2 of the cards he needs.
Jimbo Baggins here with a suited ace, queen 10-3, suited ace 3 of diamonds.
3-bet to 100. So Tyler's definitely Pink Panther's calling. He's going to see a flop. James should see a flop with this hand. That's a very good hand. The King, Jack, 10-9. That plays very well. Oh, he actually 4-bets it.
Is going to re-raise up to, looks like 180.
I like the play. Get some people out. I mean, this hand
Carnival
plays
Sam back there. In the background.
Was Shay in the house?
Yep. See all your familiar faces here at the Palm Social.
Playing some of this Hold'em. Gabe. Come on out. We got the hostess Sabrina. It's the best looking card room in the city. 100%.
Some beautiful staff members here.
Beautiful place, beautiful staff members. It's just aesthetically pleasing.
Unlike our commentators usually, that's usually...
you do have a voice and a face for radio.
It's fine. I'm never clamoring to be in front of the camera. It's workable. It's passable. We've got it all in here for ace queen 10-3 of the last of Jimbos. James is pushing 927 in the middle for Big Mike here with 0 F's given. Ace 7-6-4 with a 6-4 of diamonds.
I like
for $750 probably.
Tyler calls, and I really like Tyler's hand. He just has no idea that Big Mike has given 0.
Yeah. He's not.
And he's got the 7-6-2. Kind of eliminates a lot of Tyler's cards. Pink Panther, I'm rooting for you.
All right, so pick a hand, any hand. What's the one you want to win? It's a 3.9K pot, 5 ways.
James has
3 players all in.
James, beautiful hand.
Pink Panther and Big Mike will have a separate side pot if they do so. Choose to get action here as... All right, what do we got here? We're going to get out to our board here shortly. It's loading. Probably, okay, I see what's happening. We're probably tallying all the pots and the main pots because of just all of the action. That's first the 256 that comes into the middle, and then the separate side pot between... That's a juice boxes stack of around 800.
Jack 9-3. Did that hit? I mean, juice box is open-ended. Jimbo's open-ended.
Queen
James
turns.
has 2 pair. James now has a straight.
James has a straight king high with spades. Is going to come out at 7 on the end.
Yeah.
This is a chance I think James is going to scoop it all, and I don't know if we get any other
No, he gets it all. I mean, he had the best hand. That was a very nice hand he had.
Dry side pot on the very outside. But James going to get a 3.9K pop with the old King Jack 10-9 that turns a straight. Gave him a pretty huge draw. Also with the straight flush draw.
Yeah.
And with 2 pair to go along with it. So that is how you smash a frickin' board in this game.
That's why you play hands like that. I mean, it just, all connecting, double suited. You're flopping pairs, straight draws. You're just making hand after hand.
Or otherwise, you just miss completely, or else you're given a little bit of hope, and it's sort of the hope that kills you. Hold on, I gotta plug in my laptop since that's what I read the chat with. Okay. Deep buried back here at the bowels of Palm Social. Sequestered, held away producer Sonny, sequestered at his studio. Nobody can get in or out of there without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. And I'm sorry, I used to always laugh at that. And that PSA that's usually before every sports broadcast,
Right.
Express written consent. It's like that Family Guy bit where they're like, "Do you have the written consent of the National Football League?" I have it for Fox, and they start shooting at Peter Griffin. I know that's a bit that made no sense, but I'm trying to turn my computer back on and buy myself a little time here. A lot of wires in conjunction space here, so this was supposed to be, I think when I was trying to turn around, I unplugged this because it's a little more confined space. So this got unplugged back here, and I don't know if that totally just, well, that's only to the board though, it's not necessarily to the, anything that I think has to do with the action tracker. No, it's just our soundboard that connects that. Okay, so you're looking at a freeze frame, and now my soundboard's plugged back in. We apparently have gotten frozen in time. Big J looking up there to... We may have had a meteorological event that could have possibly occurred, too. So I think your mic still works, so we are trying to get an update as to what the issue is. Perhaps, Paul running so hot that he's just burning the action tracker.
It's true.
I think that's probably what it really was, is that...
We're frozen.
Oh, okay, we get to just talk about much of anything, so... Invite your questions here to the chat. We think it might be about 5 minutes, so... I hope it is, because if we're sitting here rambling about whatever the hell is happening for about 30 minutes, I don't know what the hell to make of it, so...
Yeah, I mean, and you can safely say that no matter what is happening, Paul is probably winning.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet. He probably just won a hand. Again, we're on a 30-minute delay. We've got, we got Dallas and Tampa tomorrow night. I keep forgetting, like, tonight's Wednesday. That means NFL opening night tomorrow night. Cowboys, I think, like, +8. Tampa going to have their ring ceremony, whatever the Super Bowl winners get to have with pregame. We will see. Do you think Dallas is going to get their hearts torn out this year like they do every single year? That this is the year finally.
I'm a massive Cowboy fan. Obviously,
you are?
I'm nervous at +8. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Texas kid.
Okay.
And so, Cowboys, the only thing I don't like that's not Texas is Indiana Hoosier basketball. So.
Okay, I got you. I feel you.
At +8, I mean, Dak hasn't thrown a pass in the preseason, and Tampa's returning their whole team. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not an ideal slate, but it's also, I think the second run up to the top is always the toughest. So it's sort of like you may get this energy and emotion from its opening night, blah blah blah. But it's also,
I think the books are in for a tragedy. I think everybody's going to bomb Tampa, and I think they're going to be correct.
I always think that, like, Brady tends to get stronger as the year goes on. So it's sometimes the best time to play these teams is early, when I think you might be able to catch them.
Psychology.
I don't know, but it's also doesn't look very, like, if Zach Martin's not going to play at guard, like, it's going to be pretty tough to protect against everything Tampa's defense.
It's good NFL's back.
I'm trying to be an optimist, and I don't normally ever try to be one for.
Who's the team everybody roots for in Iowa? Is it Kansas City? Is it Minnesota? Is it what's the Bears?
It really depends on what part of the state that you're in. Is like Northeast. I think that the closer you are to Wisconsin, like, you'll see more Packer fans. If you're more northern Iowa, it's a lot more Viking fans.
Yeah.
If you're closer towards the Chicago area, it's a lot of Bears fans. And then south is a lot of mixture of, like, Chiefs fans, random Cowboys, like, there's still people I know in my little hometown that are just, they were Raiders fans in the 90s as kids, or they were Steeler fans for any of the same reasons that anybody is a fan now. But regionally, it's a very weird and tricky dynamic. Bryson Burns saying Texas is back. He's been trolling the chat a little bit about
I hope you're right.
Texas is back. It's just we've Bryson Bird declared it, so that's all we really needed.
We've heard it before. We've all wanted it.
Bryson saying go Pack, go. Again, I'm a Viking fan. That this just this season could go any number of different ways. This could be a year their defense totally recovers. They come out and play strong. Dallas is just, I think. Did you watch any of the training camp hype with what the
Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks?
I have not watched any Hard Knocks.
No, I part of me wants to, but it's only, like, for specific coaches. Like, I don't give a shit about Jerry Jones. Like, I don't want to look like Jerry be like the Dallas Cowboys. That CD Lamb runs pretty good. Like, it's just not that compelling to me.
No, and I think you're in the vast majority of people with that sentiment. I mean, even Cowboy fans don't like Jerry Jones.
I mean, I get it. It's like a Bond villain. He owns a bunch of gas. Like, I don't have anything against him, but it's just sort of like, in the world of programming today, like, I'm not too compelled to be all that interested.
No.
In just the personality. Like, it's just like, whatever.
I don't like Mike McCarthy. And I mean, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, but some of these people are tough to like. I just want to win. Eventually, the Cowboy fans, we're thirsty.
It is getting, I mean,
it
is getting a little thin as far as the notches on your belt and things to have been really happy about. Yeah. I mean,
Once every 4 years, we rise up and win 12 games to only lose in the second round of the playoffs. I mean,
that's pretty much that's like the rise and fall of NFL franchises now. It's like you get a new coach, the team actually believes in them, they draft well, they get fat on success, they fire the coach, they recycle the roster, and like that's the rinse and repeat kind of method of the NFL.
When is Dallas going to rinse it? They've been losing 25 years. It's time for the rise.
They're due to at some point. Like,
it's cyclical.
If Dak can stay healthy, Bryson, a Packer fan, McCarthy is the worst. You will not win with them. I always loved that, like, McCarthy got, like, a Pro Football Focus subscription, and he's like, I've been studying analytics, and there was never seemingly something analytically driven in his approach that suggested that you were like, yeah, this guy's changed, this guy's different, but I don't know. I think a lot of it revolves around coordinators and people that you have work with you in today's league. That's what happens in Texas. Is like, oh, you don't like the play caller? We'll just get a new offensive coordinator. We'll get another offensive coordinator. We'll change. You don't like the defense? We'll change up the defensive coordinator. So it gives you that look of accountability, but also stymie your growth because you're just like, fuck, I can't find a good coordinator to run my defense.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, McCarthy.
We are buying some time here. All right, looks like our system, we're going to have to pull the plug. I think we should come up with a name for the system so we can humanize it, like Solomon or Bertha or whatever we're going to call her GFX. You got to humanize it, became a spirit, treat it as such. That's going to end our broadcast here live at the Palms T5 PLO. Paul, probably right now winning another pot, I assume, at this point.
Probably.
Matt Myers, thanks for joining
Thank
and
you.
indulging me in the entertainment. I actually had a lot of fun back here, as I expected. But that is going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night. We will see you on a Saturday night for 1-2 No Limit here at Palm Social. Check us out, Palm Social 512 on Instagram and Facebook. Good night, y'all. Down.